Be this world, changing your mindset.
Hello, viewers.
Hello.
Welcome to this edition of Be This World today. I wish to welcome everyone here today. This is Be This World. I still remain your presenter, Bidin Nana. And I want to wish everyone Happy New Year. Anywhere you are, everywhere you are, I pray that this new year will be the best year for us. This 2023, things we were unable to do in the past years, we will achieve them this year, provided we are doing things right and getting it right. Welcome you all to Be This World show. Sit around.
Be this world. Be this world, changing your mindset.
Welcome back. Today is still your show, Be This World. Today, I'll be discussing New Nigerian. Is it possible? And I have on the studio today to discuss this topic with me a brand manager, a man who is good in what he's been doing. Join me to welcome today on the show, Ositadimma Ago. Oga Ositadimma, good to have you on Be This World today.
Good to meet you, my sister. Happy New Year to you.
I wish you the same. You're looking so calm. I like that. It shows that this.
It's cold. The water here is different. It's cold.
Yeah, so, I understand. So yeah. you're advising yourself. You're trying to respect yourself.
I have to.
That's a good
no
word.
Options.
Please, can you wish our viewers Happy New Year? Say
a very Happy New Year to all the viewers of Be This World TV. And I pray that this year brings a lot of blessings, open doors, and upliftments, and a better Nigeria for all of you in Jesus' name. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what did you say?
I said, I wish all the viewers of Be This World a very happy and prosperous 2023, and a Nigeria where all can be free and hopeful that we can realize our dreams.
Oh, wow, I like that. Where all can be free. And we can realize our dreams, and we will do that. And based on that is our topic to New Nigerian Possible. In 2022, a lot of people were clamoring. It started in 2015. A lot of Nigerians wanted a change, and the new government came in and took over. And after a few years, they discovered that it was actually one chance they entered. This was not the change they bought or they sold to them. And as of 2022, they started singing a different thing. They want a change of government. Now, 2023 is a year of election in Nigeria. Now, my question is this. New Nigeria or a better Nigeria, is it possible as we enter New Year today?
Thank you, Bidi. First of all, a new Nigeria is possible. You see, when you can understand there's hope, is if you ever watch Nigeria play football, you see that Nigeria can be won. But there is one dividing line, which is nepotism, which is tribalism, which is lack of merit and reward for hard work. And that brings, the reason for people to agitate for separation. Ordinarily, if people are protected and feel like they are part of a system, everybody work together to, make the country or the nation move forward. Having said that, if you look at what happened in 2020 during the NSAS, it was a push for a new nation, a better nation where the youth are protected and encouraged, not just shot at because they are having a trendy hairstyle or an expensive car. And the Nigerian youth are one of the most resourceful all over the world. They are celebrated everywhere. And we have taken entertainment, fashion, to another level. If you look at the last World Cup that just was concluded in Qatar, more than 7 Nigerian artists performed at FIFA Village, and they were being, celebrated by the fans. That's the kind of height we can achieve. And these youths not being satisfied with the outing of 2020, actually 20th November 2020, which is a very remarkable day, are still pushing for a change. And this is our future. Nobody should stop them from having a country they deserve and desire. So it's possible.
Now, talking about having a country they desire, you know, in Nigeria, there's this mindset or this belief that our leaders controls everything. Question is this: why would 85% or 90% of Nigerians allow 15 or 10% control them? Because what I'm looking at now is no longer the leadership, only the problem of followership. What do you think about that?
Okay. You see something that happens if you want to build a nation. The person who leads should be able to encourage the followers to trust him. You have this detach when the leadership they're not trusted by the followers out of experience. You know, Nigerian citizens have been shortchanged for a long time, and each time they wanted to talk, they are muzzled down, they are gagged. So it's a problem. But somehow, because of the recent occurrences, the nation seems to be rising up and demanding. Because what is happening now is that people are demanding, and there's a divide between those who believe that they are the ones in charge, and the ones who believe they are not having enough of this. So if you see what is happening in this 2023 campaign, as we get closer to the elections, there are two parties: the parties of the people and the party of the bushers. So it's going to be a very, very, very interesting thing. No leader is successful until you have groomed a successor. So when we have good leaders once in a while, the next one comes in and bastardizes everything. I can say without doubt that during the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Nigerians were calling on radio stations saying, "God bless Nigeria." That was the first time I heard something like that. All of a sudden, in 7 years, it's all wiped and we are so divided and against each other, and so many incidents of kidnapping, terrorism. People are not safe. So that's what happened. But ordinarily, even in the whole world, the larger portion of the money belong to the few. But the issue is, how do those few manage that resources? Does it affect people positively or negatively? But our own people carry it and keep it to themselves without even investing back in the society. That's the difference. Hello, can you hear me?
It's okay. Yeah, I can hear you very well. Now,
Okay.
from what I said now, 2023, is it possible that the people will have their way? Did you hear me? Did you get what I said? I said,
Very, very, very
from
well.
all
I
what you
heard you. I
said,
heard you.
2023, is it possible that the people will have their way, considering the level of propaganda that we are seeing going on now, even in our campaign? Is it possible that people will have their way?
They have never seen the kind of movement
You
we are
get the
witnessing in
question?
Nigeria. Yeah, I heard the question. I said, I've never seen, since my youthful ages, the kind of movement we're having in Nigeria. There's a redefining of political movement, which is being orchestrated by the P2B movement. This is the first time people are gathering, contributing money on their own, mobilizing and saying certain things. And the population cannot be ignored. And who are the ones who help in pushing for falsifying results, rigging elections, electoral violence, and all that? The same youth. And what I'm seeing is a situation where they're saying, I think they have used us enough. We're going to determine for ourselves. So if they vote and stand and protect their votes, the votes will count. With the Electoral Act signed in by the President, Muhammad Buhari, the difference is that the beavers will work. Although there are fears that INEC is not doing enough because a lot of people have not gotten their PVCs. But if they have the PVCs, I am sure
Yeah.
that with what we have in place now, people will vote protect their vote and their votes will count.
Now, talking about the beavers, an average Nigerian still believe that their votes don't count. They still believe that with the beavers and all that surround it, that the elites, the politicians, the leaders will still have their way by installing who they want, not the person want. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, we have to balance what we are seeing with what used to be the norm. No be like this it they be before. That's what is happening. I think there's a new normal, business unusual, you may say, because I've been observing, the goings on, and I see that things will change. When I discuss with other people who are from other parts of Africa, they continue to talk about what's happening in Nigeria. So, which means people are watching with keen interest. I give you an example of what happened in Kenya, where the Vice President Ruto defeated the incumbent that didn't support him. But because he was saying what the people wanted to hear,
Exactly.
and he moved in their direction,
Yeah.
even the Raila Odinga, who was a power broker, combined with the incumbent, could not stop the movement. So I'm believing that Nigeria will be able to get it right this time.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about how things used to be, it's about people go and carry ballot boxes. Before you know it, they send them results from somewhere, and INEC will tell you that they don't have a server. So I wonder where they stored the data they used to do the election and deny they don't have a server. And now you have the youth who are volunteering. I was shocked to hear that the youths are volunteering to, a lot of people who are into IT, actually focusing on how to make sure that
Yeah.
certain things are. Yeah, so it's an interesting development. For the first time in
All
Nigeria,
right.
I think the results will change, demographics will change, and if this is the beginning of what they call a better voting procedure, then we know that we have arrived.
All right. Well, I pray and I hope that we will arrive. Now,
Yeah.
Mr. Ositadema Ago, going by your name, you're an Igbo man. There's this
Sure.
saying, like this popular saying that Igbo Afro Wahananya, that Igbos don't love themselves. And based on this, it looks like that phrase or that adage, I don't know if it's a phrase or if it's an adage, is becoming a reality, considering what is actually playing out in Nigerian politics. Actor Eze, recently when Peter Obi started his political campaign, Actor Eze was the kind of behind him. But lately, he came out and made some that's disturbing statements, which many Nigerians have been saying. If you know he will not win, why don't you keep it to yourself and let's go to the pool and let the pool decide? Now, what do you have to say about this statement? Are we justifying the statement that Igbo Afro Wahanaya actually, or what do you have to say about this?
The kind of things coming from these two men, with all due respect, they're very funny. You gotta go. As Onyibo, I know that we are the best tribe. Unless you got what we call the wrong narrative. But the Harvard and other schools of business are studying the Igbo apprenticeship system, which is the Igbo boy. It's not easy for somebody to come to another person's house, pick the person, train the person, open a business for the person, and they'll still be on the same line. If you don't have your own, you still go to your gas shop to pick it. This is happening. During the time of Mbazika and Meju, God bless his soul because he passed away just last month. You see, there's a story he told us about when they wanted to imprison Zeke. I know that this thing may not be in the public domain. They said they wanted to, that the money for opening ACB was missing. That Zeke took it and they wanted to just jail him at all costs. Zeke and Mechi went to Port Harcourt to raise money from Igbo community. And as he was driving back with his beetle, he met Ndori. They wanted to attack him. Said, "Oh, the boy is good. Kevin, just say and Zeke get Jenga." They said, "Oh, I have money in the boot." Ndori, the robbers now took him. So no, Zeke cannot go to jail. And took him to Enugu to escort him so that he doesn't have issues with others that may be on the road. And they went back. So when you hear these things about
are you for real?
yes. So in Nigeria, okay, if an Igbo person is outside, within or outside the country, they continue to bond. But because of the war that people lost, a lot of things were lost. We can actually agree that certain aspects of these our values are depleted over the years. But it doesn't mean that we don't love ourselves. Let me speak on Soludo and Atweze. You ask yourself the antecedents of Ndi Na-Ekwu. When I was in secondary school, I heard about Atweze and how he was given contracts and all that. So we knew him as Ato 1000, who never completes his contract. That's the impression we had. So you need to look at their character and records against the one they are attacking. And for the first time, BD, what is happening in Nigeria is that those who used to make money from the system are working against those who said enough of the milking of our nation. That's what is happening. So you see, after that gave people conditions, the letter is trending online, where he gave the conditions for sponsoring somebody as a governor. And Peter Obi, I am proud of him because I consulted for him personally. Before all this thing, I met him, so I understand the way he works. He wants everything detailed. And he's been saying since that there is nothing to share anymore. And you need to cut down on the cost of governance. Who wouldn't want to do so? If you have 7 cars in your family, and you notice that your money is running down, you sell some so that you can feed your family. And that's what the man is bringing on board. So I think people are beginning to show their true colors. If Atweze says Peter Obi will not win, and his own kinsman says, okay, you don't know what you're talking about, you know now who to believe. And Soludo says, I've calculated and Peter Obi cannot win. Then his own people say, oh no, okay, I don't think you have to go for second tenor because you're misfiring. It just tells you the results. So I don't believe in that. And after all, as you can say what you want. That's democracy. You're entitled to your opinion. But let's see the opinions that are facts. And I tell you the reality.
There are 2 things you brought here now. Talking about antecedents of people who are talking. Governor Soludo in Anambra today, there's actually a different problem from what everyone is seeing in Anambra. Are the people he has brought, do I call them the levy collectors in Anambra, especially in these people have been constituting a lot of nuisance in Anambra to the extent that they use knife to, to scare people to actually pay them all these daily levies. And I think the governor should concentrate more on that and leave Obi. Let him get to the pool and let the pool decide. But I don't think he's getting his priorities right now as a governor. I don't know. I'm just speaking my own personal opinion. What do you think about that?
No, I belong to a lot of Igbo platforms where I raise concerns about, because we had a meeting with him. I'll not say where that meeting held, but we had a meeting with him. I wasn't impressed. And when I wrote about what I expect about him, I said they should pray for him. I was attacked on those platforms, but they are proving me right. Because when you look at where he was focusing, the person he chose to attack, I lived in Lagos for 20 years. And Opiwe Onisha used to be a no-go area. I can tell you to go back and check what Opiwe I was during Peter Obi's time. If your wallet drops, they will pick it for you and tell you, hey, you see, you lost something. How did he do it? He cleaned the place, he tarred the roads, and, everything was orderly. Then he handed over to Obiano, who had some issues again. And Soludo, who is the professor, should actually be what I call humble enough to go and ask the man how he managed to do it.
Exactly, because he's actually bringing the miscreants back
I have small background. Yes, I have small background because I've worked with people who do internally generated revenue, IGR. What is applying as a professor of economics is appalling. I don't see where that, if you look at what Tinubu did in Lagos, which also a friend of mine was part of the, installing of that alphabet and all that, everything is digital. It's a profession people read. and master in it. You collect money. In UK here, people pay tax. Do you see anybody harassing anybody? It's when you're able to earn the trust of the people, they will support you.
Yeah.
If you don't earn the trust, they will continue to avoid tax. You ask yourself, what is wrong with having the professionals who do this? I know that when Peter was there, he was using a company, I think Champs and other people who were using, the most recent form of revenue generation. It's not the time of when we were growing up. We used to go, when there's the tax and rate. Those days are ancient. They are stone age.
Yeah. And that's what I'm still practicing on the China Worker today, in the era of a professor as the governor.
No, or Daranka. Whatever, whoever should tell him,
Okay.
let it get to his ears that he should also look inwards.
Yeah.
You see, I think, with all due respect, Soludo is a brilliant person, but he talks so much.
It's okay. It's okay. Still on what the questions you raised, you said that Igbos love themselves, the
Sure.
apprenticeship system. Now, in a rate of 1 to 100, if you achieve 10 or 20%, would you say you're doing well? No, considering I just asked you a question. I just need yes or no. In a rate of 10 to 100, if you
It
achieve
depends on
10,
what you're asking me about,
no,
sir.
no, no, no.
Is it about the
Generally,
Igbo loving
no, no,
themselves?
no, no, no. It's not about. I'm just asking you. We'll get there. Just answer you. In
Okay.
a rate of 10 to 100, if you achieve 10 or 20, would you say you're doing well? Certainly,
No,
you're
the
not.
person failed. She was a I will
Exactly.
say papa. She was a I will say papa.
Exactly.
Foul.
Exactly. Now, my point is here. Each time they call on you, people will say, "Igbos Afro Wahananya," or Igbos don't love themselves. These are the area most of you actually present. Now, if in all the ramification, it's only that in those apprenticeship area that you people have actually excel. Don't you think you people are lacking in so many ways and need to up your work?
Okay,
What do you?
Ngwaka, let me come in. Let me come in here. Go and check the schools, police stations, town halls, hospitals built in Igbo land. A lot of them are by community effort. Compared to what's happened, even the one they say that Awolowo brought free education to the Western Nigeria. Let me see the schools, as many as you have in Eastern Nigeria, the old Eastern Nigeria, that you can compare to what is in Western Nigeria. If you mention the schools that Awolowo built, you now begin to compare what Igbos built. We take pride in fixing our community. If you go to Nnewi now, you know that a lot of self-made billionaires. And what is happening is that people build roads for their community. They continue to do these things. People continue to sponsor people to higher education and schools and all that. And if you look at even online, there are people who are collecting money to go and do good. The same way people do it. But once you see that one small thing happened, they say Igbo Afro, you will not remember the one. Okay, what about what is happening with Peter Obi now? They wanted to target that he's an Igbo president. Thank God, the Igbo rallied around him.
If it's an Igbo president, the Igbos will not
He's
be
not.
working against
He's a
him.
Nigerian
No, 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 no.
project.
No, what I'm saying, if he's actually an Igbo president, most
He's an
Igbos will
Igbo
not be
man.
working. Most
Any
Igbos will
president
not
will
be.
come from somewhere.
No,
Any
what I'm
president will
saying,
come from somewhere.
no,
Yes.
my point is this: if he is an Igbo president,
Yeah.
Igbos will not be working against him the way they are working against him. Starting from
No, you ask
Fada
yourself.
Mbaka.
No, how many people do you think live in Igbo land or are Igbos? We have about 75 million Igbos. And we have a handful, not even up to 0.01% of the people saying, because you know their voices. Go to the streets of Enugu, go to Anambra. When Peter walks in the street, who are the ones following him? The same people that will vote. Madam Bakau, Soludo,
P2B,
our president.
Soludo.
One vote each.
Sorry.
They have only one vote. So if you compare the movement to those who are saying, they can't even influence people within their own community because everybody knows the truth. Everybody feels the pain.
It's okay. Mr. Osita Demma Agbo. Let's go for a quick break. And when we return, we will be talking about 2023. What should Nigerians do differently from what they've been doing Because you know it is a crime for you to continue doing the same thing and expect different results, or probably for you to fold your hands and expect things to turn around and work for your own good. So let's not go for people.
Be this world. Changing your mindset.
Welcome back to just joining us. This is Be This World, and we'll be discussing is new Nigerian possible? And my guest has been Ositadima Iyeme, and we've been
Ago.
discussing. Sorry, Ositadima Ago. Sorry about
Yeah, but
that.
I'm much taller than that one you mentioned, though.
It's okay. So, Mr. Star, we've talked about a lot. Now, when we before we went over, we talked about how should Nigerians do things differently, starting from election, individual, and group, so that we can achieve a different and better results. I must be frank with you, we are the people who continue doing the same thing and expect a different result, and it can work. That's why you see us, we are practically have this culture of complaining. We complain a lot and we talk without action. So, in your own words, could you tell Nigerians what we should do, starting from political and individuals? So,
You don't leave out the religious. You know, after government, the most powerful group are the religious people. If we still have pastors that will continue to pray for people who loot the country and tell them that more blessings will be for them when they bring it to the church, we'll not move forward. If you still have an uncle that you're waiting for, once he gets into government, you go to share your own cake, will not make progress. If you still have a government that will not stand by the person that says the truth instead of killing him, will not move forward. So my advice or suggestion or recommendation for the country is that, like Peter says, I like to quote him because he says the things that are factual. The person who lives in Sokoto does not buy bread cheaper than the person who lives in Enugu. It doesn't know tribe.
exactly,
Hunger doesn't know tribe. It doesn't know religion.
exactly.
If you're traveling from Sokoto to Lagos and you have an accident and Yoruba man is there and Igbo man is there, you don't know the difference in the blood. You don't know whose blood you see. And if they
Kill
take them
every-
to hospital, you will be faced to having the same treatment.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that people should not think that politics is a dirty game, because even in the family, people play politics. And if you don't continue to demand, the leadership will never change. They will feel that everything is okay, and they'll be comfortable and not move. Even in the developed countries, the people continue to agitate for more. You talk about now people talking about animal rights and all that. When you see how they treat animals in developed countries, you now be pitying us, the Nigerians. If they could give that kind of attention to animals, that you don't have to kill an animal somehow, it makes the animal go through pain before it dies, then what are we talking about humans? When I watch
Exactly.
crime scenes in Nigeria, my sister, make I no lie,
It's
it's
disheartening,
heartbreaking.
honestly.
The way
It's
we even
disheartening.
carry the dead Nigerian as if it's just a log of weed in the back of pickup. So we need to improve. One of the things that will help us is when people are educated, their psyche, their reasoning, their reactions to things change. So we need education. So how do we get education? Is it by the numerous private schools where even some of them don't have qualified teachers? They pick the reject of society to make teachers. And then one thing we should remember is also speaking English doesn't mean that somebody is intelligent. There are
I
people who
like
can
that.
learn in their vernacular. So if we're able to restructure the country back to where we were, the Yorubas can teach even in Yoruba. The Igbos can teach in Igbo. The Hausa can. It doesn't take the intelligence away from the person. That's why Chinese speak. The China speak Chinese. So
Yeah.
these are the things that happen to us. We must find our root, hold on to it, because there are certain things I can say in Igbo I cannot express in English. Like if I tell you my own dialect, I say Oshemberikwe. How do I say it in English?
What's
And the person I'm
that?
talking to says it.
Sure, but again.
I say Odinabo. It's an expression of shock, but he cannot say it in English. So
Yeah.
these are the things we need to understand. It's possible to develop as a nation when you continue to demand for better. And also continue to tell yourself the truth and tell the next person the truth. Like one of the things I say very often, and they know me for online, is that I say bravery is not only in confronting enemies, but more in saying the truth when it matters most. Can we really tell ourselves the truth?
Exactly.
That's what's holding us back.
Wow. I love that. Bravery is not confronting the problem or
It's
the
not only in confronting the enemy,
enemy,
but
but it's
more
saying the
in
truth.
saying
It's
the
speaking
truth
up
when it
when it's
matters
needed.
most.
Exactly. I quite agree with you. We as people who have that problem, we speak based on who is involved, who it concerns. This thing you talked about bravery and speaking up actually bring me back to NSAS and what just happened in Lagos on 25th of December, where they shot Omobolanle on 25th December. You heard about the deaths. Yeah. This was actually what the NSAS was all about. The killing, the brutality of police, of security officers in Nigeria, security personnel in Nigeria. But when this NSAS was going on, a lot of people politicized it. You understand? They spoke against it because they feel it's allowing NSAS stand will affect the government they are supporting, and it's in return affect their pockets. So they came all out against NSAS. They say they are court people. They said a lot of things. Now, on the day Omobolanle was killed, majority, I saw them, I live in Lagos. Majority of those people who spoke against NSAS were against killing of this lady. I remember one of them saying, this was exactly what NSAS was fighting for. But it's not as if you people did not know. You people know, but you people just decided to be biased. You understand? Mr. Ostadimma Ago, I truly appreciate this. I truly appreciate this. Now, you've actually spoken to Nigerians and to individual. Can you speak to Nigerian youths based on politics 2023 pool? Can you speak to them, please?
Yeah. But let me, I'm going to, pay respect to the slain lady, the lawyer, on
Yeah,
25th. The very, very pathetic thing,
painful
sad.
thing.
Right?
I'm
It's
telling
funny
you.
to let you know that police brutality has been happening. And like they say, accidents don't just happen, they build up. Do you know when I was first arrested by the police, what reason they gave? Illegal discussion. I was
Can you
discussing football
imagine?
with my friends. I was going to see them. I was seeing
Please,
them off.
can I smile? Can I laugh? Are
It's
you
very
for
funny.
real? Illegal discussion.
I will never forget it. It was in May 1994. There
Can you?
was a,
I said
a,
did not
a
start
league.
today.
There
Oh.
was a Champions League match
Wait, please, excuse me.
between AC Milan and
1994.
Barcelona. Yes,
This
between
brutality did not
AC
start
Milan and
today.
Barcelona. I was a very young person, and I was seeing them off. We were talking about AC Milan. I was to travel to Lagos from Enugu that day, the next day. So they came to see my artworks because I'm an artist. So we all appreciate it. I was seeing them off. All of a sudden, a police van pulled over and said, "Hey, where are you going?" All of you enter the van. I said, "Why are we entering the van?" They cocked the gun and we all jumped in. They took us to the police station for no reason. But thank God that one of my friends, the dad was a special advisor to the just overthrown government of Okuyimodo then, and they took us to the police station. When we got there, we were like, "What did we do?" The man just got there and said, according to police instruction, when two or more are gathered, illegal discussion, arrest. You will not believe it. You see what? And we started raising our voices. If not because that guy came, they would have put us in the cell. And by next day, they begin to say stories. So I've seen people also who were arrested just because they dressed fine and they couldn't comply
No, 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 no,
with.
no. Hold on, excuse me. You know this thing you said just reminded me what happened to me last year. That's 2021 December. I traveled to the east. I boarded flight from Lagos to Asaba. Then from Asaba, I was going to Enugu. I took a bus. You know, Uguoba. Is it Uguoba? Yes.
Yes, Ubu axis, yes.
I, you know, I was actually going for it that day. So I had two events. I was having my two phones. I'm a media person. I'm always on phone. I'm always online. these police people stopped us, they're touching us. Come, as she crossed over the main road. I crossed her. That as she entered their packed van, I said, I thought his men they used to arrest him. They arrested me. I said, what did I do? You know, the one guy was telling me that I should not talk. I'm being my nature. He can't afford to tell me not to talk. I will talk. I was like, what did I do? He said, my phone has no business with your job on the road. He said, do you want me to shoot you now? I said, hold on. Another one came, was looking and said, who are you? I said, I'm a journalist. He said, do you have a ID card? I brought my ID card and showed him. He now said I should go. So when I went to the boss, they were cautioning me that they were telling me to keep quiet. That's how they shoot people. I said, what did I do? The driver said, because of your dressing, you dressed well. That they don't like seeing people dress well or look good.
You don't say that.
Like got discomfort. So this brutality did not even start today. Are you sure we can win this war?
Yeah. You see, I will always compare to administrations, because if you don't make comparison, you don't be able to draw conclusions. Number one, I remember sometime in between 2012 and 2013, when Channels TV visited the police college in Ikeja, and there was a move for police reform, and policemen who were on the road demanding bribes were actually recorded and sent to the force headquarters, and some other people will come and sweep on them, and they were beginning to be sanitized. But I don't know what happened to this Buhari administration. Every hell was let loose on the armless Nigerians. There have been more killings under this regime than you can ever imagine since Nigeria started. Legal, you just can shoot anybody and tell you that nothing can be done about it. SARS has the worst record in history. Never heard apart from the Nazi regime. SARS could shoot somebody, go carry the person's wife, carry the vehicle, sell it, and share the money, and still kill the person's wife, and throw people up, off two-story buildings, and nobody was held responsible. So between the police and the judiciary, there are certain things that must be done. That's why people are talking about a new Nigeria. Going abroad, going to another place, there's no place like home. There are Nigerians who want to come home. They don't even feel safe, because they send money sometimes, it gets stabbed, they accuse you of terrorism. I know a friend who wanted to invest in the real estate. They got $100 million as a grant. And you know that there are people who want to fund projects. And it got stuck in CBN. And they were accused of terrorism. And eventually they moved that into Kenya. Kenya is enjoying it. So for the Nigerian youth, to be honest with you, this is your country. Take it back. Whatever it's going to cost, the Nigerian youth must stand up and tell the person. Because for your father, anybody who is from 50 up, don't belong to this age anymore. The people who own this are from 18 to 49. And then, how old was Obama when he was the president? How old is Macron? The people who are running the world are not people who are 70 or 80. You can become be in the back end, especially when you don't belong to the current world. There's a new world who are digital. Nigerians are developing apps that you can buy for $2 billion. There are many more like that. Our entertainment industry can actually be the biggest thing that we're exporting. See how much they are making. So if you continue to work against those people, it's like somebody using his hammer to scatter his fingers and hoping to be able to go for fight the next day. It doesn't work. The Nigerian youth must demand for a country that they believe in and they live in and enjoy. They can go to other countries for holidays and come back to their country, because if you don't have a country in the heart first, it doesn't really exist. It becomes a geographic space. Like they teach in sociology, say nation state first exists in the heart or in the mind. Otherwise, you can call somebody a Nigerian, he doesn't feel like a Nigerian. Which is why I said there's Igbo, there's Yoruba. People feel first where they come from before they express the Nigerian identity. So this is what the Nigerian youth must address. Stand firm. If your father comes and your father belongs to the people that used to rig elections and do the wrong thing, tell him, Papa, time don't pass, so now we get this one, and we have to run our own life. It reminds me about one track. If you can play it when you get home, the musical youth, when we are growing up, he said, don't blame the youth. Don't blame the youth. Don't take them for fools. You know, you don't take the Nigerian youth for fools.
Wow.
Like Bob Marley say, you can fool some people sometimes, but they can't fool all the people all the time. So it is time to demand a new Nigeria. It's time to shift. Yeah, it's possible.
Wow, it's been a wonderful time speaking with you, Mr. Ositadema Ago. You cannot fool people all the time. If you have done it, and there's something you said. You said you will first feel the nation in your mind before you can do anything for that. And for the first time in my lifetime, I don't know before I was born, I'm seeing the Nigerian youth feeling together, feeling Nigerian for the first time, and they want to unite and work for the good of this country. And it's so appalling, so disheartening that the old ones are the ones who are working against them. But I just pray to have seen this 2020, the spirit of oneness, the spirit of unity will still be Nigerian youth, and they'll push forward and achieve the good and the better Nigerian that we all desire. Mr. Ositadema Ago, it's been good discussing with you. More light on this. Please, it's anytime
It's a
we call on
wonderful time.
you, feel free to be my guest here on this show. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Sure, I will be willing
Can you
to always speak up because, like they say, evil thrive when the good men do nothing. And I also give Nigerians with a passing shot, which is
your passing?
When the right people fail to do the right things, the wrong people want to do the right things and they may get it wrong. So a word is enough for the wise.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love.
Thank you,
Thank you for coming on this show.
Yeah.
Wow,
thank you.
We've had it all from this. Thank you very much. We've had it all from Mr. Ositadema Ago, the brand manager. He has said it all. You can fool people for all the time, but not always. And when we have gotten to the stage when every Nigerian youth, every concerned Nigerian is actually ready to get it right, I think the best thing our leaders, our elites, our old ones could do is allow us have that our way. But they say Nigerian youths are lazy, Nigerian youths don't get involved. For the first time they want to get involved, I think the best thing is to have their way. Try them with this and see what happens. That's what. Watch it, comment, and drop your questions for Mr. Ositadema Ago. Wow. Mr. Star, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bidi. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful 2023.